Hey guys, it's your girl HELLURRRR. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Mentally I'm Here podcast. And would you feast your eyes behind me? And if you're listening, why don't you pull over on the freeway? Stop that set that you're doing at the gym. It doesn't even matter, but this is more important. Go on YouTube right now, go on the video version of this episode, and feast your eyes on the Christmas tree behind me. I finally decorated because, as you guys know, Christmas is when I'm in full throttle holiday mode. Nothing can tear me down. Nothing can even make me remotely sad unless it's something tragic like running out of my coffee pods or, I don't know, Donald Trump becoming president, which yikes. But I decorated the day after Halloween because the way I see it, it's like October 31st is Halloween, Christmas, and I will enjoy Thanksgiving with my Christmas decorations in the background. Yes, I will, because there's nothing more festive. There's nothing more exciting than waking up in the morning with my breakfast and my coffee in my hand, even though a lot of the years I miss the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade because it starts way too early. But there's nothing more festive than watching the parade while sitting and enjoying a nice cup of joe with the tree sparkling in the background and the smell of, the plastic from the tree just absolutely suffocating me in this room, and all the fire hazards that are surrounding me right now with these lights. It's such a magical time, and I love having a small space because it's so easy to decorate, which makes life a lot easier for me, because if I had a big place, I would have been severely overwhelmed. But welcome back to a brand new episode. Last week, there was no new episode because I was in mourning of the future of our country. And you know what? I'm not even going to say much, but I'm just going to sit back. I'm just going to sit back and watch what happens. And all I can say is, I told you so. And I'm talking to Trump supporters. I told you so. When everything goes to shit in this country, can't say I didn't warn people that were over here just boasting about the presidency and all of the wonders that were gonna come about with this presidency. But anyways, so with my Christmas decorations, I actually took like a week to decorate. It took a while because I made the mistake of like decorating late at night because I'm kind of a night owl. There's something about nighttime and productivity where it just maximizes for me. Like if there was a meter, I would have broken that meter tenfold if it was like, okay, during the day, my productivity is very slow. I'm not very, I'm not very fast with the things that I do and my movements, and I get very distracted. But then nighttime comes and that just shoots right up. It's like the moment people are fast asleep near me, that's when I can actually do things and get stuff done. And I'm on a roll. So I was decorating, but the problem was also I stupidly gets tired at night, which is like so annoying. So I would get tired and then I would just go to bed, and then I'd be like, oh, I'll decorate the next day. But then when the next day would come, I didn't feel like decorating. So it took me about a week, but nonetheless, we are here. And I uploaded my decorating video on my TikTok and Instagram if you haven't seen it yet. And if you have, tell me how beautiful my house is. I can take it. Trust me. It's nothing to me. But life isn't about material things. But also, I'm a Leo and I like to hear compliments. It just feeds my ego so much. So thanks for that. And I went for like the classic 90s to early 2000s style. That's the style that I've been wanting to stick with. I incorporated it into my home last year and I was like, yeah, this is it. Because years prior, I was decorating my house very modern Christmas, and it just wasn't feeling like how it felt when I was a kid, and it made the holidays not as exciting. And it's weird to say that because it's like, it's just lights, but the lights are a big part of the holiday. So I was decorating as if like I was some modern, like Kim K with like the minimal Christmas and blah, blah, blah. Not realizing that Christmas is about the tackiness. It's about the plaids and the reds and the greens and the Santa Clauses. God, how many Santa Clauses do I have here? I can form a minor league baseball team with all the freaking Santa Clauses I have here. I just hope and pray that they don't move at night while I'm sleeping. That would scare the shit out of me. But I really wanted to emulate what Christmas felt like to me as a kid. And it's exactly that traditional, decorations of the reds and the greens and the plaids. But I also love like a very sophisticated type of style because I like the tacky, but I like the classic traditional a little more. So it's kind of giving, classic 90s suburban home mixed with some of the burgundies, give it a nice little Ralph Lauren touch with the patterns, such as like incorporating a lot of plaids and the burgundies and horses. But I don't have horses, I just have the reindeer back there, right there. So that's pretty much it. Like I just, and I'm a firm believer. Listen, as much as I love the holidays, guys, we have to come to a very harsh conclusion that we can't allow the decorations to stay up past January 15th. That's kind of stretching it a little bit. I start decorating November 1st and I keep my decorations up maybe until January 5th, because even after Christmas is over, the magic is gone. I'm severely depressed. And Christmas is only exciting when you're leading up to the holiday. Once Christmas comes around, I always find myself not being as happy as I thought I was gonna be. Also because like I'm not rich and I can't buy presents like that, and Christmas just is never the same when you're an adult. And then there's that weird phase between Christmas and New Year's where it's like a weird intermission phase where it's like, should I be saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Merry New Year? Like what do I find myself saying, Happy holidays. That's usually what I just say. But I'm not looking forward to that feeling. And then like taking down everything, it just feels like death. It just feels very morbid, very sad. So today we're going to be chilling. So like sit back and relax unless you're driving. Then don't relax. Stay very alert while driving. I disassociate so much when I drive. Sometimes I'm going places and then when I pull up to the parking spots, I'm always like, how the fuck did I get here? Did I hit anyone along the way? Did I curse someone out? Did I get followed by someone strange? And weirdly enough, like I'm very alert when driving. Like I'm one of those people that cannot merge into the center lane or any lane if there's a car that's parallel to me, because I'm always like, you never know their next move. And I always tell people that never merge into the next lane when there's a car parallel to you, because you never know. I can't tell you how many times I've done that before being more alert and having situations where like cars would be right parallel to me and they would be merging at the same time as me. And because I have the quickness, I just swerve out of the way so quickly, and you do one of those like in the movies, just the sweat bead just falls off me and like just drapes down my shoulder, because I really just caught myself. I really just played with death. And that's something you don't want to do, because it's not like you can come back. I do this sometimes. I'll just be like, I don't know why. It's so cool. I'm not even Catholic. Like, and I'll just be like, oh, yeah, let's rest up. That kiss sounded so wet. I'm sorry. My sister says that she hates the sounds I make when I kiss. Like she'll be over and I'm over here like showing affection to my dogs, because I'm sorry, am I not allowed to show affection to my dogs? Or like my husband, like am I not allowed to kiss my husband? So every time I kiss my husband or my dogs, she always like physically cringes, and I get really self-conscious because I'm just like, why do I disgust you like that? I mean, she disgusts me in other ways because, she's my sister. And there's something about like siblings, especially sisters, that like you get 10 times more pissed at the smallest actions that they do and the facial expressions and the way that they talk and something. But she says I have really wet kisses. And I'm like, you're just mad that I have big, beautiful, plump lips. Unlike your Titan looking smile. For those of you that don't know what that is, dick sucking lips. Yes, I used to get told that all the time in middle school and high school, and not a single guy still liked me. I used to, but do not bark. My dogs want to scare the shit out of me tonight. No, guys, please don't do this to me. Almost had to pull out my pistol there. Just kidding. The only weapon I have in this house is a Bible. Okay, moving on. I kind of want to talk about what I bought for the Sephora sale, because it just passed. We're just here. We're just girls talking it up, chatting it up about things we love. And I know that Sephora, and I mean, pretty sure it's the brands themselves. I don't know, allegedly. Guys, Your Honor, I'm sorry. It's just what I see on the website. But a lot of the times, prices get hiked up the day before the sale happens, and then they get reduced, and then you think that you saved money. Same thing happens on Amazon Prime before Prime Day, and there are even websites that track the increase of prices, and the entire time, like, you're thinking that you're saving money when you actually haven't been saving money. And there was even on Wayfair, there was a moment where I bought a chair, this chair over here, you guys can't see it, but I bought a chair, and it was like, let's say it was like $250, right? And then a few days later, it was like $350 because someone had asked for the link, and then I clicked on it and I saw that it went up like $100, and then the next day it went back down, and I'm just like, these motherfuckers are playing in our faces. And I just get on my knees and I just suckle on the teeth, and I just keep buying from these brands. So I feel like Sephora does that, and I feel like it's a lot better to shop from the brands' websites themselves, because with the holidays coming up, a lot of them do great sales for Black Friday and like end of the year sales and stuff like that. But I needed my stuff right away, and I just really didn't feel like waiting because my skin has been kind of like a rebellious teenager when her mom tells her she can't go to the school dance at the dinner table, and she storms off, runs to her room, and slams the door in my face. And I have to try really hard to not kick the door down with my big forehead and just body slam her against the floor. But you know, gentle parenting. So I'm trying to be very gentle to my skin. And I'm talking about my skin, not a child. I would never do that to a child. You know, I'm just going through a lot with my skin. It's not retaining moisture very well. Products dry out very quickly on my face. And I'm like, is it age? Is this the thing that women talk about when they get older and their skin feels a lot more dry? Like, what? It just lacks moisture. And I just keep introducing it back into my skin, and it sucks it all up, and then it spits it back out. I don't even know where it comes from. And it's like, these are the moments I wish I had semi-oily skin, even though I know it could be like a drag to have because it's frustrating, you know, but at the same time, I think I would rather be very hydrated than not hydrated enough. There's nothing worse than feeling a dry ass face, especially when skincare products are not getting absorbed. So I'm using all these moisturizers and serums and stuff, and I'm putting my hands up. I'm surrendering, waving the biggest of white flags. You can see it from 30,000 feet up on a plane. And I bought a few stuff, and I just want to talk to you guys about what I got. So let's just go through it. So the first thing I got is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I've been seeing this as like a very popular moisturizer since I was working at Sephora in like 2016. Fun fact, I used to work at Sephora in 2016 when the Modern Renaissance palette was popping, when beauty gurus were coming out of the woodworks, and they were just crawling their way into our screens and into our hearts and into our fucking wallets, because I used to spend so much money on these influencer recommendations. And you know what? It's okay, because I enjoyed my time wanting to be an influencer. And the Alex and Ani drawers, they used to be filled with eyeshadow palettes and foundations and concealers and powders, and I had so much makeup. And now I have like one drawer and like maybe 5 foundations, which is still like a lot. I have like 2 concealers. But yeah, so when I was working at Sephora, this face base was very popular, and I used to get samples of it because I couldn't afford it. It was very expensive, and I was just a broke college student. So I used to use it sometimes, and I was like, one day I'm gonna buy it. And you know, like what, almost 10 years later, she finally got it. I hope 2016 Hillary is proud, and I know she's smiling from below, because that's where she is. Hell, for taking out all these student loans when she didn't need it. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. But so I got the Bobbi Brown face base. Okay, then I also got 3 Caudalie products. I love Caudalie so much. If you Caudalie is like a French skincare brand, and they have some of the best products. I would say that is like one of my favorite skincare brands, because their products actually work on my skin, and it's like years and years of using the product. So But this one I've never used, and I'm very excited to try. This is the Caudalie Vino Perfect Brightening Glycolic Peel Mask. I'm at the point where I feel like my skin needs a whole layer ripped off my face so that way it can reveal a beautiful silky canvas. And I feel like that glycolic peel is what my skin needs, because I have like these little bumps because I think I used a product that really fucked up my skin. And so I have like, I think it's called milia, which are just like little bumps. They're not pimples, they're not painful. It's just bumps under the skin. And then I have a history of having a lot of acne scars right on my cheeks, and I used to like just scratch them off when I was a teenager. So I'm dealing with that. And then I have like a lot of redness on my cheeks, and then I have like a lot of small pimples right here, and I'm just like, how the fuck do I get rid of you? So the best way to do it is by, peeling a layer of my skin, metaphorically. I wish I could just take like a potato slicer and just really slice it off, the thinnest of layer. Did I just say a potato slicer? Bitch, I wish I could take like a knife and just like slice the thinnest of layers, or like a razor blade, and slice the thinnest layer and, put it on a sandwich and just eat it up. A nice amount of collagen into my system. And then the Vino Perfect Brightening Dark Spot Serum. It's sold out, bitches. I probably got the last one. It's a little expensive. It's $82, and I get it. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but this is, in regards to serums, this is my number one favorite serum of all time. There is no serum out there in the world that revolutionizes my skin like how this one does. And the moment I ran out of this, my skin started turning into shit. Like, it was like, bitch, you better bring that shit back, or I'm gonna make a whole 180, and we're gonna be right back to where we started, with horrible texture and big pores. You better bring that shit back. My skin is very bougie. She demands a lot of care and a lot of attention, so I'm gonna give it to her. She's worth it. So this serum, it's amazing. I wear it at night. I think you can wear this during the day too, because it's a vitamin C serum. And then the last Caudalie product that I got was the Vino Hydra Deep Hydration Moisture. You can probably see a pattern. We are focusing on moisture in this realm, in this era of my skincare, because I used to be of the skincare users that would just use products to target issues on my face that had nothing to do with hydration. And all it would do is dry my skin out and give me more texture. And the moment I started focusing more on hydration, that's when my skin started actually improving. And I'm like, oh. And I'm a firm believer of not having to spend so much money on good skincare. My all-time favorite face oil is from Good Molecules, and it's like the teeny tiniest little bottle of face oil, and it is amazing. It's like $11 or something, and it's, when I tell you it's tiny, it's just a wee little size of a little dropper bottle, right? And it delivers the most thirst quenching hydration onto my face. There is nothing like it. And I use a lot of face oils. Face oils are one of my favorite things to use skincare wise. And I have a lot of face oils, and I've used many face oils throughout the years, and that one has always been my favorite. And I ran out recently because she's small but mighty. You can use a lot and use it for a while, and I was using it every night. So the Vino Hydra Deep Hydration Moisturizer is like a very thick moisturizer, and I just need it right now. And the last skincare product I got was all these French products really coming through. The Instant Angel Lipid Rich Barrier Repair Cream. I used that product last year in around like the same time, like November, December, because I bought it for Black Friday, and I was head over heels with it. It was such a lightweight moisturizer, but that one actually kept my skin hydrated. And now that my skin is very dry now, we're going to put her to the test and see if she actually pulls through, because mama needs all the hydration that she can fucking get. And then for makeup, I just restocked on a brow pencil, and I'm getting the Hourglass Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil in dark brown. I have been a long time user of this brow pencil since 2016, and recently I've just been using other ones throughout the years, but I just decided to replenish with that one. And then I got the Dior Forever Skin Correct Full Coverage Concealer. This I've never tried, and I think it's new, but I don't even know if I got the right shade. God, I hope it's the right shade. I like full coverage concealers because I really need it. These sunken eyes need it. And thanks to my dad, I inherited like sunken in under eyes. And so I always look like I have under eye circles. And then I have lines that just go crazy in the night and the day. So I always need to make sure that I use eye cream, but I don't stay on top of that. And I don't know why. And I just did my skincare routine because I just took the most amazing shower. And I did my skincare routine. That's why my skin looks fantastic. But I did not use any under eye cream. So I need to get on that. And my lines have gotten worse, I think, because my concealer creases a lot more. And I don't fall into this bullshit of creaseless concealers and all these buzzwords. My concealer is going to crease no matter what because my face warms up the product and it settles into my lines no matter what. Think about that next time you have lines like me and you think about like wanting to get a concealer that like doesn't crease. All concealers will crease to a certain extent depending on how many lines you have. And then I also got a liquid liner. I got the One Size Point Made Waterproof liquid eyeliner. I usually use the Rare Beauty one, but I wanted to try a new one. I love the Rare Beauty one. It's my favorite, but I just wanted to try a new one. You know, like when you're just like, I just want to try something new. That's kind of like what the vibe was, you know? And that's pretty much it. And that's all she wrote. I just wanted to talk about what I got from Sephora. What did you guys get? I want to know what you guys got because I love makeup. I love skincare. I love hair care. I love perfumes. So let me know what you guys got from the sale. And if you haven't gotten anything, either way, send me recommendations because I love trying new stuff every day if it's possible. But fortunately, the bank account is not allowing me to do that. So, okay. I didn't want to have to do this, but I got to talk about Pretty Little Liars because I'm currently watching that show and I'm almost done. I'm on season 6 and all I can say is thank God I'm reaching the end because this was one of the most painful watches I've ever watched in my life. This was such a hard show to get through. And the funny thing is, when I finish watching this, I'm going to miss it still. I'm going to miss the fact that I'm not going to be new to watching it. Like, I know what happens. I know who A is. And, bitch, I'll even get to that. But it's the fact that now it's not like a special thing anymore. And it sucks because, like, the show was so bad in the sense of, like, the acting. But the storyline is what had me hooked. The storyline was so good and it delivered every time. And I'm just like, how did they make this into a 7-season series? You know, the creativity was just radiating loudly in the writing room because I would have never been able to like come up with something like that. Like just the way they like make the perfect twists and turns. And okay, we're going to dive into it because I have a lot of complaints about the fashion, about the acting, about the storylines and where the storylines take me after a semi-normal episode, even though it's not really normal. And I'm just like, you guys just had a brush with death and you guys are going to a dance the next day at school? But then again, it's like, it's a TV show. So I submerge myself into the experience of watching the show and, you know, just really getting into it and, you know, believing the fantasy. But the way that you can convince me to believe in the fantasy and I can be fully submerged is if the acting is good. If the acting is good, you got me sold. So like Vampire Diaries, right? I feel like it's the same realm with like, started off amazing and now I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing? And also the acting is like severely painful. But I will say the Vampire Diaries, the acting is slightly better. I feel a little more convinced because I feel like with the Vampire Diaries, the acting had to be a little better because this is a fantasy show. It's about vampires, something that's not really real. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Erase that. Erase that. Erase that. Why did I just do that? Anyways, like I was saying, Vampire Diaries is a show about vampires. It's not real. And in order for me to be in the experience and like watch Damon like stick out his fangs and like pretend to suck the neck out, like to suck the blood out of someone's neck, like I have to really be sold on the acting. It has to look very convincing for me with the editing and the CGI and the acting and everything. And, you know, it does a really good job. But then there are moments where I'm just like, please, please, I can't take it anymore. Please let me get through this. And I'm almost done with, what's the show called? Vampire Diaries. I'm forgetting. I'm also on season 6. And it's a show where it's like, I just need to get to the end. Whereas Pretty Little Liars, like, it's still good. Like, I'm still like, oh shit, like, what's happening now, right? Okay, I'm gonna spoil a bunch of shit. So if you haven't seen Pretty Little Liars and you're gonna watch it, then I suggest you skip this segment, because I will include spoilers. So I'm currently on season 6. I finally found out who A was, which is Cece, which honestly, not a single muscle on my face moved, because I have reached the point of the show where so much was happening. The show was pissing me off so much that I couldn't care enough, because there were so many moments in the show where we were about to find out who A was and we just kept missing them by like a minute, by a hair. They drop something, now we have to pick it up and we have to investigate it, and then it takes us down another rabbit hole. And then I know the show is called Pretty Little Liars, but these bitches just stay lying left and right, and it pisses me off. I wouldn't be friends with none of them, because they're all shady as fuck. I don't know why I was expecting like a different person to be A. And honestly, like when I think about it, I can't tell you who I would have suspected for A to B. I just didn't suspect it to be Cece. It just, and then it was like, oh, okay. Wait, so you did all that? You did all of that? Like, I wish I had a long compilation of the texts, the scenarios, that the house fire that Cece set up, and like all these moments where she nearly killed these girls. For what? Like, she was like, oh, fuck Allison, but also fuck y'all too. Y'all are also gonna feel my wrath, and I'm gonna make you pay for it. Pay for what? Like, what was it for? I'm on season 6 episode. This is after Cece kills herself, and I was like, what is happening? I'm so confused. And now it's like, oh, and now there's like a new A, and I don't know why, but this season bothers me whenever the new A texts the group. The texts show up on the screen in like a weird slanted angle, and I'm just like, thank you. I did not have to know like this. Like, why can't they just show me on the phone like a normal? And then I'm thinking, like, did they in the earlier seasons, was it like that, or was it, or like, I think it was just like a pop-up. Anyways, either way, I'm just being very picky. I'm just being a bitch at this point, because this show pisses me off, and I just have it under a microscope because it's just so annoying. I'm not gonna lie, every season I kept wanting more, and I'm like, I'm surprised that they're able to really drag this out and it doesn't feel that exhausting. But it becomes exhausting when I'm constantly like, damn, they almost had her, they almost had A, and they just keep missing. And then more stupid shit comes along, and I'm just like, all right, y'all are just pissing me off at this point. Also, you couldn't pay me to stay friends with someone like Allison, that conniving little bitch. There are too many things that Allison did to these girls, besides the fact of like pretending to be dead for all these years. Was it? It was like a few years, but either way, pretending to be dead, and then the things that she did prior to her going missing. She was a conniving little sleazebag. And then on top of that, when she finally came out and was like, guys, I'm alive, and then she was like explaining to them everything, like in the beginning of the show, they're at a barn and they're like knocked out, and then we find out that Allison actually drugged them, because when she was getting these texts from A, she figured, hey, let me drug my friends so they can fall asleep, and then if I get a text from A, then I know it's not my friends. And then she got a text from A, and then she knew it wasn't her friends. and y'all stayed friends with her after she did that, after she confessed to drugging you? Am I watching the right show? And again, there's so many things wrong besides the fashion. I'm just gonna talk about like the acting really quick, and I'm gonna talk about Ezra and Arya's relationship specifically. Ezra should have been the one to be at Radley, because for him to be dating a student, there's something going on up in here that requires you to be institutionalized. Because imagine you sleep with your teacher and then the next day they're telling you that you need to have your parents sign your test because you got a 46 on it, and then they're threatening that you need to go to summer school. And then you're like, so we're going out for dinner later? Bitch, if you don't wipe that chalk dust off your sweater vest, get the absolute fuck out of my face. I also have here that Spencer is the only one whose acting seemed the most convincing. Like every time she acted, when she was going through her drug abuse and her manic episodes and her conniving, they're all conniving little lying bitches. I see y'all over there. But when she was going through her shit, her acting was very convincing for me. And, you know, let's talk about good acting for a second. Succession, I was convinced that every single actor on that show was just as psychotic as they were in real life and they were on, you know, on the show. Because I was really convinced that Roman Roy was a little perv who had mommy issues and was in love with an older woman and just had some deep-rooted issues that he had to solve with himself. And I was convinced that Kendall Roy was just a desperate child seeking attention from his father. And I felt like it was just so real. And he always talks about method acting. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like that in real life. I don't know. And Shiv Roy, love her, but what a manipulative woman. And I feel like she's like that in real life. But it's the acting that really convinced me that maybe these people are like that in real life. And who knows? The method acting must have gotten to them. But, you know, back to Pretty Little Liars. This goes to show that acting really sells a show. There were a lot of moments in this show that were very, very cringe and very hard for me to get through. It was like almost Riverdale cringe, but not as bad. It was still like, you know, I make the face, I pause it for a little bit, process, internalize, and then I can move on. Whereas Riverdale, it was an immediate pause, shut the laptop, never revisiting the show again. And I can think of not one, not two, not even five, but tens of 20s of cringe moments on this show. So cringe that my booty hole just tightened and closed up like a Venus flytrap. It was a very, very, very hard watch. And you know what? It's okay, because like it's still a good show. So I can get through it. I didn't mind Caleb or Toby too much. I didn't understand the era of Toby when he was on the side with A. I didn't really get it that much, and it pissed me off when Spencer was like over here defending him, and I'm just like, bitch, you would have been the first one to throw someone else under the bus if you found out that they were A. Like, come the fuck on. And Toby's not even that cute. What else? Talk about the kidnapping. Oh, God. This is what I mean by that when writers have too much creative freedom and they just either don't know what else to do or they just really want to take things to the next level. In season 5, the girls get kidnapped. They all somehow get convicted and they're being transported to a prison, and they all get on a truck and then they get kidnapped. And then the next thing you know, they wake up in like a bunker. And this is like a high security bunker in the middle of the woods, and it looks like it was funded by a government federal agency. And I need answers, because I need to understand how I need to try to compartmentalize how was Cece able to afford this high security bunker that looks like it had terrorists imprisoned. You know, like it's a bunker that's made for like doomsday preppers, you know, like where are the canned goods? And every room was like perfectly curated with furniture. And I know it's a TV show, but that's what I'm saying. Like it really took me out of the experience of watching the show, because I was just like, you know, like I was really having one of those moments. which also made me think that Cece had an accomplice, because there's just no way. There's just no way, but it's fine. And yeah, and I have last thing here. Even after all this, I feel like I'm going to miss the show when I finish it. And I really hate that, because again, this is a very, very, very hard watch. And now on to the fashion. God, help us all. The fashion just really showcased that we had way too much freedom with colors and patterns in the late 2000s into the early 2010s. Because a lot of these fashion, these outfits were just severely questionable. And I would say right now, Spencer was the best dressed, and Emily was the most appropriately dressed for like a teenager. Spencer looked more like an adult, but like she was like very preppy, you know, like the Burberry kind of girl, like London gal going to private school, you know. So she had her little Burberry moment, and her mom was like a lawyer and her dad was there. Hannah, she had her questionable moments with her fits, but her fits were fine. She wore a lot of wedges to school, and I'm just like, where are we going? Are we going to the club, leaving at 6 a.m., or are we going to algebra? Aria, at one point, she was dressing really nice, and then another, she looked like she took inspiration from a Sharpie value pack of 36 highlighters, and it just kept flip-flopping. Like, there were outfits that were really working for her, and then outfits that were just like, why? And I have here Emily dressed pretty fine too. Like, her fits were like pretty normal for the time. And for Allison, all I gotta say is, which fashion coordinator did Allison run into some issues with during the later seasons? Because what the fuck is she wearing in these last seasons? Because why did they make her look like a mom who gets told her son is misbehaving at school, and she sues the school, not only wins, but then becomes head of the PTA and the bake sale? I don't know where we missed the plot, but like, she dressed pretty decent in the beginning, and then it just like escalates. I think it's because like she started going to church and she wanted to be more conservative, or that's where my mind is going. I don't know what the fashion coordinator had in her cards, in her predictions, to like dress Allison this way. You know, the mom skirts and the hair. Is that a wig? I feel like it's a wig. I don't feel like that's her real hair. Either way, they really did my girl dirty, and I hope she is getting a lot of money right now, because you deserve it, girly pop. Okay, so we're gonna get into some tea, because this came onto my For You page, and whenever I get gossip and any kind of tea video, I become so inundated with the videos themselves, and then I become very invested, and I never comment on things, and I usually I'm just like an observer. I'm a silent watcher. But now that I got a podcast, I like talking my shit, and I like giving my opinions on this stuff, because Andrew's not a very good vessel for me to be talking my shit, because he loves hearing the tea, he loves talking it up with the girlies, but he doesn't give very good feedback. Like, he's not someone that can like add on to the tea. He is a good listener, and he can find out tea for me. He's kind of an informant and kind of a snitch. But when it comes to like bantering, it can kind of go certain ways. Like, it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just talk to myself. Or if he's drunk, it's like, it's fantastic, and he has so many things that he can say. But I want to talk about this because it is just so funny how people get very riled up, and TikTok houses a lot of hive mentality with people, but this is something that's very much justified, even though it's not very serious in the sense of like, you know, the grand scheme of things. Like, you know, this presidency that's about to take over our lives for the next 4 years, and Elon Musk being appointed as being in charge of government efficiency or something. We are living in a dystopian society right now, but either way, we got to keep the good times rolling. Did I mention that it's 3 a.m.? No, I don't think I did. It's 3 a.m. right now. This is like my second time filming this episode because the first time I filmed it, it was very late at night and I wasn't happy with how it was because I was very tired and I wasn't sounding like myself and I was like speaking in like sentences that weren't making sense and I was slurring my words, and I'm 10 times more tired now, but I'm trying to stay on my A game with like being very good with like, I'm trying to stay very alert. I'm not drinking any coffee. I'm just drinking water and the Holy Spirit. So we are going to keep it pushing. So word on the street is that there's a creator out there who's charging $100 for a pair of pajamas. For those of you that don't know, there's a creator on this app, like I'm doing this on TikTok called Cecily Bauchman. And she is like a TikToker who's a mom, and she does like day in the life videos and like get ready with me's, and her content is centered around being a mom, and she posts her kids. And I'm not the biggest fan of family content creators, but it's whatever. So she does that, and she has been in controversy in the past. Like there was a controversy of her with a birthday cake. Like her daughter was trying to blow out her birthday candles and her younger sibling like took over, and like the mom didn't do anything about it and everybody was talking shit about her. And I'm just like, all right, like I get it. Like it's good to try to hold people accountable, but some people take it way too far on the internet. Like it was never that serious. And so now we have a situation where Miss Cecily and her, I believe, sister-in-law released a line of Christmas pajamas. Oh my God, so cool. But here's the thing, like word on the street is that this was announced not that long ago. So there wasn't even that much time for promotions. And they used to cost, because now we have updates that, I'm getting information from headquarters. We are receiving updates that they released an apology video, or not even an apology video, addressing a lot of the feedback that they have been getting, which I don't think they've addressed much, and all they did was reduce the price. So these pajamas, because it's like several pajamas, right? They cost anywhere from like $70 to $95, which is insane, okay? And then on top of that, the clothing material is made out of rayon. Rayon is viscose, which is like a material that almost feels like silk. It's so soft, and you would think that it's like the highest quality of fabrics, but then you realize that it's like less durable than polyester. According to my research that I've done, it's less durable than polyester, and it tends to shrink, and it's not the best quality for a product. And so when you charge almost $100 for a pajama set for rayon, you kind of have to ask yourself, like, what are you trying to deliver to your customers essentially as a now brand owner? Okay, so we're going to deconstruct this website and we're just going to analyze everything. So when you first open the website, you are welcomed with a beautiful montage of clips of families and children running about with a white backdrop. And this kind of looks like an Old Navy commercial, but if Old Navy decided to mark up their pajamas like 100,000,000%, it looks like it was thrown together by teenagers who were rushing through a group project. And then we see here, it's called For the Mems. Like for the memories. But they're quirky because it's not FOR, it's the number 4. So, and my question is this only a holiday drop, or are they going to include like Arbor Day and like Veterans Day and I don't know, Groundhog's Day? What does the drawing board look like? Do we only see Christmas as the vision, or are we thinking about expanding? So beautiful gowns. We have the montage of the clips of the families, and then they have like a little dedication thing. We created for the mems to celebrate our love of spending quality time with family and capturing those special moments, all in timeless style. That's subjective. Okay, so let's look at some of the men's tees. What's cooler than being cool? And I'm sorry, but you can't convince me to spend $38 on a shirt when you can't even afford a steamer to steam these clothes. What the fuck is this? And then on top of that, none of these pages have size charts, so you don't even know what you're getting. And a lot of the items have like notes saying to size up or size down because it's going to shrink with time because of the quality of the fabric. And it's like, then you should have added a size chart so that way people can know what to get. Because get this, they do returns, but it has to be in like the most pristine condition. You have to pay like a percentage for shipping costs, and then you only get store credit back. Store credit for what? What if I don't want your pajamas? What if I don't want your disgusting rayon pajamas? Okay, so here's one of the shirts. This is the après-ski men's tee, and look at the back. Wow, what's cooler than being cool? Well, that gave me heartburn. And what's funny is that like in the video where they addressed all the feedback, they were saying how they reduced the price because now the pajama sets are not $98 or $95. They're now $75. So you can not put gas in your car and get some beautiful, gorgeous rayon pajama sets for your family, because that's also the crazy thing. These people aren't just buying one pajama set. They're buying several for their family. So it's like a family of four. You're looking to spend like a solid $400 or $500 on a pajama set that is only going to be worn for Christmas. I mean, I would wear this to the freaking movies or a restaurant, because if I'm spending $75 on a set of pajamas, bitch, that shit better increase my credit score or something. It has to do something. It can't just be meant to cover my nipples and my puss. And you know, when people follow creators, they follow them for a few reasons: because they relate to them, or because they don't relate to them and they have such an unattainable life that their life is so interesting and they just want to know more about the person. And then there's the people that like just hate watch and hate follow and all this stuff. So when you have followers and you base yourself as someone that's like very humble. I don't follow her, but I get her videos a lot on my For You page because I love me some day in the life videos. You can be a surgeon, a lawyer, a garbage man, a freaking pastor's wife, and I will watch any get ready for the day with me videos or day in the life videos. I love those videos as I'm sitting in my filth with my Uber Eats on the way with nothing done. So her videos, like, she comes across as like very sweet, very humble, very grassroots and like, you know, granola and God and Bible and all this stuff. And so like then she comes out of nowhere and she's like selling pajamas for $95. And so she's like, okay, fine, brokies, I'm gonna lower the price to $75, which is still not affordable because again, I'm pretty sure most of her demographic are mothers or women that have kids in their lives that maybe they want to buy for, and it's gonna cost them a pretty fucking penny. Because like when things like this become drama, there's a lot of factors to it. There's the people that are upset, and then there are the people that dogpile and like have no idea who Cecily is and have never watched her videos, and they just want to add their 2 cents, and then it just blows up. And then it just completely dies down, and then nobody ever hears from it. And then the controversy just gets swept under the rug, and then it never gets brought up again unless someone brings it up, or when their next controversy comes around. And then they're like, oh my God, remember when she tried to scam us for $98 pajamas? I mean, at least she offers the pay in 4 with shop pay, because that would have sold me if I really wanted it, to be honest. Let's look at some of these other shirts. Also, they really couldn't soften this man's nipples before putting it on my computer screen, on my Wi-Fi. And here we go, another wrinkly ass tee. This isn't Zara. You can't just do that. Like, you know how like sometimes Zara has like the strangest photo shoots, and I feel like a wrinkly shirt like that is something that Zara would have done. Or what they usually do, like hang a blouse from like a tree branch, and then like you barely see the making or the shape of the blouse, but like you know it's a blouse just because it says it's blouse, and so you're like, okay, that's a blouse, but it's hanging from a branch. I can't really see the blouse. But here we have this t-shirt that says, out here looking like a snack. Or if you're feeling in the party mood, you can get this one that says, it's lit. Take a second to digest that one. Let me know when you're ready to talk. And then the last one, Santa came to slay. To slay. Appropriating gay culture. I see you. Their culture is not your costume. Get that shit off your website. I didn't even see how much the sets for the kids were. $58? $58 for a kid's set? I mean, like, it's different for adults. Like, yeah, $95 for a set. I mean, now, $75 for a set is crazy because, like, you know, whatever. But, like, you're at least going to stay the same size, whereas kids are always growing. And $58 for a pajama set that they're going to grow out of within next year, if not a few years after. What the fuck? I didn't even know, because everybody was always talking about the $95 for the adult pajama set, but I didn't even know that this was $58. And here's the thing, the reason why people are complaining about the price is not necessarily the price. It's the quality and the fact that you are not an established brand to be charging prices like that. If you were an established brand that made luxurious products, then people would not be complaining, because there's the side of the people that are like, you don't have to buy it, you know. Like, no fucking shit, Sherlock. But the reason why people are complaining is because this is not an established brand. This is a creator who, with her sister-in-law or something like that, they created this brand for the purpose of just selling pajamas for Christmas. There's no way that the materials costed that much money for them to be charging this much money. And then in the video that they posted where they're addressing all of these concerns that the customers had, they lowered the price. They didn't address anything about the refund. They should be able to refund people that, like, for some reason, like, if the pajamas don't fit or something. Like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, the toddler jumpsuits are $38. Get the fuck out of my screen with that shit. Oh my god, I'm too tired to be processing this information right now. It's too much. And is the fabric all the same across the board? Okay, so the kids' toddler jumpsuit is 100% polyester fleece. So, I mean, very common, so that's fine, I guess. But $38 for that? Get the fuck out of my screen. So there you have it. I'm sorry I didn't talk about more things, but I genuinely cannot continue. I am very tired. It is almost 4 a.m. and I really need to go and get some sleep so I can wake up early enough to edit this video and have it up in a timely manner. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week, and make sure to purchase these expensive pajamas because they will totally make your life worth living. And with that being said, I'm going to sleep. Goodbye.